Hey, what's up guys? It's Nathan here at Bluestone Farms. Wanted to get the camera out a little bit and show off our new bull. He's registered, he comes from registered stock, he's polled, he's a non-carrier of chondro, and he's also a non-carrier of PHA. And on top of all that, he's A2A2. We'll talk more about him in a minute. Let's go ahead and feed the steers and a couple heifers we got inside real quick. We'll get them fed. We got to break their waters open. It's Sunday afternoon and I have been a little lazy today. I haven't been out here yet until now. It's not terribly cold today, but it's still cold enough where I don't think the waters have really thawed. These guys got hay. They're out here munching, they're chowing. Let's go here feed and then I'll tell you guys more about this bull that we just picked up. Man, that ice out here is thick in these water tubs. Getting through it with the shovel sometimes is almost too much. We're able to get most of the ice out. You see the ice graveyard here. All the ice chunks we got everywhere. Yeah, I tell you, man, this winter has been cold. I think River's gonna go get some water here. I think tomorrow's supposed to warm up a little bit, and it's supposed to warm up to like the low 40s after that, which that's pretty warm considering what we've been in. It has not been that easy this winter. We got that snow like over 2 weeks ago, and it has just like packed in, and it's just turned into ice. And the cows struggle with it. I struggle with it. The dogs struggle with it. It has certainly been a struggle out here with all this snow and ice that we have. Yesterday was probably the coldest we've had yet. I think the high yesterday was like 22 or 21. And I came down here yesterday to break the ice out of this water tub, and I could see as I shoveled it all out, it was refreezing as I was taking it out. It was freezing that fast. And I think the feel like temperature yesterday was like -2 or -3. Yesterday was cold. Yesterday was bad. Today's not that bad. Today's on the warmer side. I don't know if it's over freezing, but for what we've been in, this doesn't feel that bad today. I know in the last video we showed the steer who had those spots on the side of his neck, but you can see there on his neck, it has not grown, and it looks like they're healing over. I don't believe it's a mite or a lice issue. I think if that was the issue, all of them would probably have it going on, and it's just that one spot. Like I said, it has not grown, so I'm pretty confident that he was just rubbing himself on the post up there. It's kind of scaly looking, but it just looks like it's just healing over, to be honest. I don't want to show it in the last video. It's kind of raw looking, and he's not itching at it. It doesn't look like it's bothering him, so I'm not too concerned, especially since none of the other ones have it. So, like I said, I think he just caught himself on a post out there, scratching himself, making a mess in their hay right now. But let's get out of here. We'll go break the water open for the bull and the 2 pregnant heifers. Thank you for making way. Thank you for making way. These guys are chowing down. They all look pretty happy. Kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why we got a bull, having a bull versus AI. I'll start with that. Having a bull was much more cost effective, at least in my area here. A lot of people you watch that have cows, especially the Dexter community, I think a lot of them kind of will, I don't want to say turn you off to a bull, but A lot of them will tell you how much a bull costs and how expensive it can be. When I started doing the math on it, I quickly realized that going the artificial insemination route is a lot more expensive long-term than it is to keep a bull around. I feel like with a bull, you pay for the upfront cost, and then you pay for a vet bill here and there if you need one. And then in my situation, I make my own hay. So I don't have to buy hay in, and I typically don't feed grain. I might feed a little bit of grain here and there to a steer or to a heifer that's trying to put some weight on. I generally will not feed grain to a bull. With the AI route, you're looking at per cow, you're looking probably at $150 to $200 per cow to have either a tech or a vet come out and do it. And then on top of that, you got to buy the semen straws, which is another $200 to $300. And then on top of all that, they're only about a 50 to a 60% success rate or so. With that cost, and with the 5 heifers I have, you're spending that much in AI one time around than it is to go out and buy a bull. So I strongly feel that having a bull is a much more cost-effective way to go. That's why I decided to go for a bull. Now, what I look for in a bull is, I wanted a polled bull, which means no horns. Ideally, I wanted homozygous versus heterozygous. The bull I just got is heterozygous. He is not homozygous. The second thing I was looking for is, I really wanted an A2A2 genetic bull. Most of my heifers are A2A2. The A2A2 genetic is what I am breeding for. I want the top quality and I want top genetics. The third and fourth thing I'm looking for is non-carrier of chondroplasia and non-carrier of PHA. Chondro is the dwarf genetic in them. It can be fatal on them, lead to pain and suffering in their life. And then PHA, it's a genetic disorder that affects the lungs in one way or another. So I wanted to rule those genes out. On top of all of that, with this bull, I wanted registered stock. That was my number one thing I wanted. I could trace back all the genetics, wherever he came from. And now I also was looking for great temperament. I wanted a bull with great temperament that wasn't aggressive. Now I'm not saying I'm gonna trust this bull. You gotta be careful with the bull. Never turn your back to him. Gotta be careful. I wanted a bull that wasn't looking too aggressive. And then on top of all that, I wanted a bull with great body conditioning. Getting a bull with all of those genes in it is almost like finding a unicorn. It took me quite a while to find this bull with all the genes I was looking at, even though he doesn't list all of the genetics I want. The only thing he's missing that I wanted in my bull is I wanted a homozygous bull. He's heterozygous, but he's still polled. So since he's heterozygous polled and not homozygous polled, I feel like with the Dexters, these cows are not like something you can just go down the road to every farmer, or you can just go down to the stale barn and pick up, or you can just reach out to your neighbor, or reach out to someone across the county off of like Facebook and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and they have it. People that own Dexters are far in between and few, which is where I'm leading at. I went out to Indiana to get this bull. It was about an 11-hour drive one way, so I spent almost 24 hours in the truck, round trip between 2 days. But sometimes this is how it goes, trying to find the bull that you want. The Dexter cattle community is so small compared to the Angus or the Herefords or the big commercial style beef out there. Me in my situation, I have a hard time being in Virginia, finding a bull that looked great to me, that was listing all the characteristics. You would find a homozygous polled, non-carrier of PHA and chondro, and then you would find one that had the A2A2 genetic. But when you looked at this bull, the bull was very scrawny, and you could just tell it was not a bull that should have been a bull. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted a bull that exhibited great conditioning along with all the top superior genetics I was looking for. That's where this bull comes in at. My plan with him is he was going to come here and go to work right away. I was going to put Millie and Rosie in with him. Problem with that is that they're back here, and I cannot get a trailer back there. The snowpack is so icy and it's just so packed in. I can't get Millie and Rosie over here right now. But once this snow melts a little bit, Rosie and Millie will be going straight in there. They are ready to breed. The bull I just got, he's 20 months old, just about. So he's ready to breed. He's going to make some really superior looking calves here. He's got great body conditioning. Rosie, she's only about 15 months, so she's a little on the younger side to breed, but I feel confident breeding Rosie to him already. I feel like she's very well mature looking for her age is what I'm trying to say. This is Harkin. As I mentioned, he comes out of northern Indiana, so we got some pretty good genetic diversity going on here. That's another thing I wanted with him, is I wanted something that was in no relation to any of the cattle we got. I mentioned that the Dexter cattle community is fairly small, especially in the part of the country that I'm in. So you got to look at the pedigrees and kind of make sure that there's no ties in here and there. You can do that. It's called line breeding, but that's not what I'm going for. So bringing him in will really open up the genetic diversity here. These two heifers, which is Sophia and Maggie, they're actually out of Texas. I bought them from a farm in Virginia, but they came out of Texas. And then the other three heifers I got in there, two of them are from Southern Virginia and the other one's from Northern Virginia. So we have some diversity going on here. That's what I really want to go for. But you can see, man, he got this big old blocky head on him. But he's sitting here eating his hay, and I do think that since he's been here, he looks like he's drawn down a little bit, and that very well just could be because he was in the trailer for about 11 and a half hours on the ride here, and he's probably stressed out a little bit just being at a new place, at a new farm. So, but overall, I'm very happy with how he looks. He's been eating hay nonstop, and that's what I want. But as I mentioned, whenever this snow melts, we're gonna bring Millie and Rosie in here. We're gonna bring them in the pen and get them bred. I'm just kind of waiting for all the snow to melt. The way I'm going to do it is probably going to run an electric fence on the outside of this fence here, probably over here, and kind of give them a lane. I'll probably just loop it back around to the gate over there and get them in here. Yep, that's him. That's our big boy. Harkin. Yeah, you good boy. You big boy. You are a big boy. I love that cow, but sometimes I don't think everything's all there in her head. She'll sit there and just scream and moo. One thing I will say is that since he is heterozygous foaled and he's not homozygous foaled, I do plan on retaining some of his heifers that he's going to produce. That's probably going to take a couple years till we get to this point, but after probably about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, I probably will be looking at a different bull at that point. You probably have too many of his offspring around to breed back to him, and I'm not into line breeding. That's not my thing. But he seems to be doing all right. He's down there eating, and that's probably going to do it for this one. Want to show off this new bull. We'll catch you out the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out on my end. So catch you out the next one.